Afternoon, VC. Harris here with another video for the VC. Start off with a little bit of a rant against YouTube. You know, don't want to bite the hand that feeds. Well, they don't really feed at the moment, unless we can get to 1,000. How's that working out for everyone, by the way? Keith, doesn't matter. But I showed this video last week, Velvet Underground Live, with a poorly rendered drawing of a woman's posterior, and then got a sternly worded email from YouTube saying that they're going to have to delete my video unless I change the thumbnail, as it was against their guidelines in terms of sexual something or other. I mean, it's a joke. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I did sell out to them and did change the thumbnail, but have you seen the sort of stuff that's on YouTube? I mean, I'm not being funny, but if you just, you know, if I look at my search history, look, UK female jelly wrestling. I mean, have you seen the thumbnail on that? That is way worse than mine. And to be honest, it annoys me for two reasons. One, the hypocrisy of YouTube. And B, that is a flagrant waste of jelly. I mean, I love jelly, and they've used about 8 trifles worth there. So it's just poor on two levels, really. But anyway, I'm going to be slightly more careful this week. Obviously, don't want to tread on anyone's toes at YouTube. And I'm sort of doing some of my favourite sort of pop albums from the glory years of what I think of pop. I know if you're a little bit older than me, people might say 65 to 67 was the glory years, but I'm going to say sort of 79 to 81, 82 was absolute glory years. Pop really mattered in the UK then. Top of the Pops was on every Thursday. The whole family would watch it. 16 million viewers. It was a fantastic era. And after punk, pop had gone a bit bonkers. Like the record companies didn't really know what to do. So it was a bit of a free-for-all. Charts were full of sort of disco, reggae, soul, brilliant. So first up, I think most of these are from 79 to 82. If not, then it kind of hammers my conceit. But let's see how it goes. First up, the Specials. Debut album. Special. I mean, I've mentioned the Special before. Jerry Dammer's absolute genius songwriter. What an album this is as well. Beautiful sleeve as well. Love this sleeve. And yeah, I mean, every kid in our school was obsessed by the Specials. And they were the first ever UK act to get their first 7 singles in the top 10. Up until Ghost Town, and then once Westlife occurred in the year 2000 or something, I think they'd smashed it. But yeah, an amazing pop band. Fantastic album. Produced by Elvis Costello, I believe. And I was talking on another video about songs that surely everyone loves, and surely everyone loves A Message to You, Rudy, which is their cover of, was it Dandy Livingstone who did A Message to You, Rudy in the 60s? And then phenomenal record, and just superb. Love it. This is still, I think this is my copy now that's about 43 years old, and it's starting to show a bit of age, but yeah, 43, no, came out in 79, 42. So there you go, yeah, the Specials debut album. Next up, and kind of almost feels like the US equivalent of the Specials in a way that they mixed genres, and they were all about having a knees up on the dance floor, which is what I'm always about, even at this tender age. The B-52's debut, just an incredible record. Side 1, phenomenal. Side 2, rubbish. But I like it when an album's only got one good side, because I like EPs. I think all the best records are always EPs. So if this record's only got one good side, it's like an EP. You just have to play the one side and then you can crack on. But yeah, I mean, side 1, Planet Claire, 52 Girls, Dance This Mess Around, Rock Lobster. Rock Lobster was John Lennon's favourite song, apparently. He told an interviewer before he was shot. And John Lennon, not the interviewer. But yeah, what an incredible album. And again, another amazing CD. This looks like an American copy I managed to get hold of. I don't know how, but incredible. It sounds awesome, this as well. It does sound, I think this is probably a first press. It sounds insanely good. Insanely good. So, B-52's debut. Next up, I've already mentioned him. Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Get Happy. With the pre-distressed sleeve, confused a lot of people. A lot of people took this back, apparently. Saying they had a damaged sleeve. 20 songs on this, on one disc, but it's fantastic. A bit like the Specials, and a bit like B-52s, all about getting on the dance floor, really influenced by Tamla, Motown, or Motown, well, Tamla Motown in the UK, Stax, a little bit of ska in there as well. incredible. Produced by Nick Lowe, and Nick Lowe is such a great producer, and I love Nick Lowe. Just a superb record. I think it's my favourite Elvis record, maybe apart from this year's model, maybe pushes it, but and this year's model's obviously got No Action on, which is maybe one of the great album openers of all time. But yeah, Elvis Costello, Get Happy, absolute cracker, that superb record. Next up, and I say this is the glory of the charts in the UK, and maybe all across the world, I don't know, but I think in 1979, Kraftwerk had a #2 hit, I think, with The Model. And as a kid, you know, as a really young kid in primary school, you know, you just hear The Model and you just think, what an amazing tune. It's like a nursery rhyme kind of melody, and it's phenomenal. And you're not worried about what a Kraftwerk like, or they came out of the Kraftwerk era and blah blah. You just think, what an amazing tune, and it is an amazing tune, isn't it, The Model? And I love this album. I mean, I love Kraftwerk anyway, and this or Computer World, I think, are my two favourite Kraftwerk albums. All trans. Trans Europe Express as well. So I mean, 3 or 4 albums are amazing. But yeah, I love this. This was again. I think I bought this copy in about 81, 82, and probably didn't like it when I bought it because I was very young. I probably just wanted The Model 8 times, and it's a little bit more nuanced than that. But it is a great record, fantastic record. Huge influence on UK sort of modern romantic, or that UK sort of Depeche Mode, Spandau Ballet, Soft Cell era. They all cite this as a huge influence, and what a fantastic cover as well. I think based on some sort of situationist German poster from the 40s or something like that, or 50s, or the 20s maybe, I don't know. But superb album, The Man Machine, Kraftwerk, I love it. Next up, and this is an amazing album, and it's the first album I ever owned. Not the first I bought, but the first I owned, because my mum bought it for me in 1981 with a record player which was worse than a Crosley, and you had to build your own speakers made of cardboard. It was that bad. It's madness, absolutely. And I will say, whatever people say about Crosleys, the record that I played this on was horrific, and it still plays like a dream, this, but it's absolutely by madness. And I lived in Chalk Farm in London when this came out, and this sleeve is shaking in front of Chalk Farm Station, and me and my mates we've got hundreds of photos of us posing in front of Chalk Farm Station trying to be madness, because they were our heroes. And I always had to be Mark Bedders, who was the uncool one, because it may shock you to learn I was probably the uncool member of our group, but I always wanted to be Mike Barson, who a bit like Jerry Dammers, absolute genius in my opinion, a total understanding of how a pop record works. You know, their influences were things like Motown, soul, Burt Bacharach, soundtracks from the 60s. Just, and this is, to me, this is the best Madness album, and maybe one of the best British pop albums ever. And it includes the incredible song "Embarrassment," which is, I think, got to #5, and it's a song without a chorus, and written. Lee, the saxophone player, his sister got in a mixed race relationship, and she had a baby, a mixed race baby, and Embarrassment is all about the unfolding drama and agony of that, where basically his sister and him was completely disowned by the family. And if you listen to the lyrics, I mean, they just plonked out as a single, and you know, there was no mention of that, but you listen back to the lyrics, and it's, you know, such a brave song to put as a top, and it doesn't preach, it just tells you how things were. And they were like that in the UK in 1980. You kind of forget how being racist could be seen as almost a badge of honour around where I grew up, which seems horrendous. And things have got a little bit better, maybe 20% better, but let's hope it gets a lot better. Next up, ABC, Lexicon of Love, fantastic, great album. Again, I like a lot of this Motown influence, soul influence, just fantastic. And I did an essay about postmodernism once. And I use this album because you've got the theatre scene here, and then you've got the what's going on behind the scenes. I thought I was being very clever, and I linked it to the Pompidou Centre in France. I could do a video about that one day if you like. You don't want me to, do you? But ABC, Lexicon of Love. My favourite on here is All of My Heart, which I love All of My Heart. But obviously most people go for Poison Arrow or Tears Are Not Enough, or The Look of Love. I think The Look of Love's pretty decent as well, but just a genius album from ABC. Fantastic stuff. Next up, I always seem to be promoting Dexters and Midnight Runners, but 2AA, which obviously became famous for Come On Eileen, but an absolute cracking album. Come On Eileen kind of overshadows it. It's the last track on side 2, Come On Eileen, which is weird. Yeah, just a really, really amazing 80s album. And yeah, I love Dexys, as I've said in other videos. And side 2 on this is fantastic. It's almost like a suite of just soul. It's kind of a little bit like a Van Morrison-y, but better, just an upbeat. Oh, it's just brilliant. I just love this album so much. And yeah, so it gets written off a bit, I think. But I just think it's absolute genius album, this 2AA by Dexys. Next up, I haven't got any albums by this band, although I did have, but they've either gone astray or got lost. But Susie and the Banshees, Once Upon a Time, the singles. I think this is from like 78 to 81. And yeah, this is really all the Susie I need. But this is brilliant. Hong Kong Garden, Playground Twist, Happy House, which is what a great song Happy House is. Christine, Spellbound, Arabian Nights, just absolutely cracking album, Susie and the Banshees. And yeah, superb. Next up, absolutely love this. Sparks, Number One Song in Heaven, produced by Giorgio Moroder. Again, what an amazing sleeve for 1979 that came out. It looks so ahead of its time. This is my favourite Sparks album by some distance. And Giorgio Moroder, he gave him a real disco edge, and it's just all killer. Academy performance, La Dolce Vita, Beat the Clock. What a song that is. My Other Voice, and Number One Song in Heaven, which is superb. But yeah, can't say enough about this album. Superb. Sparks, Number One Song in Heaven. And last up, Joe Jackson, Night and Day. I really love this album, and one of my favourite songs from the 80s has got to be what song is it? It's my favourite ever song, I can't remember. Stepping Out, which I just love. Stepping Out, it's almost perfect to me. Just evokes, I don't know, my childhood and growing up, and I don't know, it's just a fantastic song. But this is a great album, really great album. And you can get this is £3-4 everywhere, and it sounds great as well. If you want to show off your system, stick this on. And yeah, superb record. Joe Jackson, Night and Day, brilliant. His best moment, I think. But yeah, so there's my favourite albums for what I always think is the glory years of pop. Thanks for watching, and there'll be some more videos coming up. Cheers.